Aloha, and welcome to VOSR International, the Voice of Shortwave Radio. I'm your host, Wavecrest Guy. This broadcast is being transmitted by WRMI, Radio Miami International in Okeechobee, Florida, on both 9455 and 15770 kilohertz. We're going to start this broadcast out with some announcements. First off, on the EQSL cards, we always have been sending out EQSL cards, so when you send in a reception report, I have been sending those out. We do now have two designs for the cards, which is great. So I went into a new design just a few weeks ago, so if you send in a reception report, you will get the new design. And I want to try to build up some more designs of these. So if anybody is creative and can come up with EQSL cards for VOSR, that would be great. I can send some out under each frequency, would be kind of nice. I can rotate them out if I had quite a few. And this would be kind of a never-ending thing. If anybody is creative, come up with a couple EQSL designs, and I will be able to use those and keep those in the fold and send them out so listeners can collect different cards. One thing I do want to mention, I would like to have a spot on the design where I can add the person's name, the date, and then which frequency they're responding to. So as long as it has that place on the EQSL design, I'll be able to fit that in and use the design. So send those to me in the send me an email, and in the subject box put in EQSL design, and then send those to VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. Next, I want to talk about our website at VOSRInternational.com. It's one of those, it goes hand in hand with the radio program. So every time there's a broadcast in each segment, I usually will talk about something, and I'll have pictures, or I'll have videos, I'll have links, I'll have information on there for you to go over there and check out. So try to stop in there once a week, once every other week. Then you could check out all the stuff that was gone over during the broadcast. Also, while you're there, you can check out, we do have some VOSR merch. Go in the menu section and go down to the merch section. There'll be a link there where you can click. We've got mugs, we've got shirts, we've got hats and notepads, and any purchase goes to help out the broadcast. Next, sign up for the newsletter while you're in there. That way, if there's any changes to the broadcast or anything like that, you'll get an email notifying you of that, and you can go and check the website. I don't bombard you with a lot of emails. I don't do a ton of updates. You might get one a month, so it's not a big hindrance. It's going to fill up your email box. So go ahead and sign up for that. It's really easy to do. It's on most of the pages, and there's even a section in the menu where you can click and sign up for the newsletter. Lastly, I want to talk about guests, and we've had a good response for guests. We've had returning guests, which has been great. It can be a constant call. There's a lot of listeners out there that have a lot of knowledge for the hobby that could really easily do a guest segment. I try to make it very easy. You can do it on your own time, at your leisure. You don't need a lot of equipment. Most people have a computer or a laptop that they can use. All you need is a program that would do recording and be able to save in MP3 format. I'll go over all the particulars with you if you're interested, but there's a lot of subjects that can be hit on, and there's so many more things that we can go over. And a lot of people are better at certain things. They're better at building antennas, repairing radios, or you might even just want to get your story out there of how you started into shortwave. It's always interesting to hear what people how they got into the hobby, what radios they have, and what they're currently doing. So consider being a guest, and if you do want to take that step and want to hear yourself on the air, go ahead and send me an email. In the subject line, put down guest segment, and then send that into VOSRINT VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. And now on with the show. Oh, I forgot. One more announcement. You'll want to stick around to the mailbag segment, and I will be announcing a giveaway. We have a Redicus V115 shortwave radio that we are going to be giving away, and I'll have the details over during the mailbag segment. Now, on to the show. Our first segment is going to be a guest segment, and we want to welcome back Ancient Grass. He's already done a couple guest segments here on VOSR, and we really appreciate all the effort he puts in to give us these segments. They're really informative, help out a lot of people, and bring up a lot of questions and things that people can look at to help improve the hobby. So let's start out with Ancient Grass.
Hello, this is Ancient Grass, ancient_grass_5121 on Reddit, and the same on YouTube as well. I'd like to talk about the common sources of interference in your radio room and in your house in general. So, what I've come across is that pretty much everything can cause interference. Some things don't cause interference, and some things cause interference when they're set up a certain way. So I'd like to talk about some things you can do to prevent RFI in your listening experience. So when I first started listening to shortwave again, I had problems picking anything up. The bands were mostly all static, and I couldn't even pick up strong stations that I used to be able to pick up years ago with no problem. And one of the things I came across was my Keurig coffee maker. It's a really good coffee maker, but when it's plugged into the wall, it creates a lot of interference. And I had no idea that this was happening until one day I just unplugged it, and all of that static went away, and everything came in a lot more clearly. And I was like, well, that's strange. I never thought that that could cause interference when it's just plugged in and not even turned on, but it turns out just being plugged into the wall caused a ton of interference. Like throughout the entire house, it just wreaked havoc on everything radio related, all the way up from medium wave to shortwave, and even lower FM stations had a lot of static on them, and it was all because of this coffee maker. Now, besides that, I noticed that some chargers also create a lot of interference too. I have a AC adapter hooked up to one of my scanners, and that actually produced a loud humming sound on my radio. I was listening to my radio, I was tuning through, and I kept hearing this humming, and I'm like, that's strange, that was never there before. And it turns out that one change that I made to my radio room, where I added this AC adapter, caused this humming sound, because before I just used batteries in my scanner, but now I just decided, hey, I'm going to hook it up to AC power, and that's what caused that loud humming sound. In order to listen to shortwave, I have to unplug that or just use batteries to make sure that I don't have that humming sound. Then another instance I had was, I'm a big fan of the Voice of Turkey. I really like their program, and I was trying to listen to the English language broadcast, and I kept hearing this loud buzzing sound. It sounded like there was a chainsaw in my radio room, and I was like, that was never there before. Why is this happening all of a sudden? And I was listening for like the entire program through this buzzing staticky noise, and it turns out that one little change that I made caused that sound, and it was because I used to have my speakers for my computer hooked up directly to the USB port on my laptop. However, in order to save on USB ports, I took an AC adapter and just plugged it directly into an outlet, and that caused that loud buzzing sound. So I immediately unhooked it from the AC power, that adapter that I had, and I just plugged it back into my computer, and the sound went away. It was crazy. Just that one little change made all the difference in the world. And yeah, there was that. Other things can cause interference too, like televisions. Newer TVs, even though they're not turned on, they're still consuming a lot of energy, and they're still outputting a lot of interference, RFI. And the best way to cut that down is to just unplug it or have it on a surge, so that way you could just turn off the surge and cut the power to it, so that way you don't have to worry about that producing any RFI anymore. Some things that I had noticed that don't cause RFI, my refrigerator doesn't affect radio whatsoever, which is shocking because it's so big. Chest freezer doesn't affect radio either. Strange, but it's true. Microwave, only when it's running. Ovens, the toaster ovens, things like that, air fryers, no RFI, even when it's running. Toaster, never had a problem with it. Coffee maker, as I said earlier, definitely a big problem. Absolutely. And, certain other things too, like lamps. Certain lamps can cause RFI. So sometimes you have to pick the right light for your radio room in order to not experience any RFI. And I have a LED lamp above my radio desk, and that doesn't produce any RFI. I also have an under the cabinet light fixture that also doesn't produce any RFI. And yeah, there's just a ton of stuff that causes RFI. Air conditioners, I have an air conditioner, it produces a little bit of RFI, but not enough to cause the signal to go all wacky. You'll notice some fluctuation in the signal, but really it's not anything to worry about, so that way I could still be cool while listening to the radio. Another thing is computers. Now, I had a desktop computer that caused a ton of RFI, and it was an older computer. It was an HP Compact, and for some reason, every time I had it on, it would just wreak havoc with my radios nearby. I can only use it with the SDR because the SDR was connected to an antenna outside, and since the SDR was encased in metal, it didn't really cause any RFI with that. The only problems that I did have was if I tried to turn on a radio in my radio room, I would have all sorts of issues. So what I did was, I was like, well, maybe it's because it's connected to AC power, and so is all my other radios in my radio room, right? So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy a laptop. And when I bought this laptop, I bought a Lenovo IdeaPad Slim 3, and it's a great laptop. It's very powerful. It has lots of cool features like a light up keyboard and all that. And it doesn't have too many USB ports, which is kind of sad. I kind of need those for radio, but luckily I bought extenders for that, and no Ethernet jack, which kind of it sucks for internet speed and all that. So I ended up buying a USB-C to Ethernet adapter, which works great. And yeah, I noticed that this laptop cuts down on a lot of RFI. When I have it plugged in and charging, it does create some RFI. Not as bad as my desktop, but it does create some. So if I want to use my other radios besides the SDR, I have to unplug the laptop and just have it running on DC power, which is great. It cuts down on all the interference. It just is kind of bad because eventually the battery will die. But I mean, if I want to listen to another radio, all I got to do is just unplug the laptop from the wall, and I still have a computer, and I also still can use my radios. Another thing with the laptop I'd like to talk about as well is I don't have any RFI when I use Wi-Fi. However, I do have some spikes on the spectrum when I use the Ethernet adapter. So believe it or not, the Ethernet cable itself, when it's plugged in, will cause some RFI, which is strange. I never thought that would happen, but I tried it, and yeah, I unplug it. There's no RFI on the spectrum when I'm using my SDR. I plug it in, and then all of a sudden there's RFI showing up, on certain points of the spectrum. Not all the time, but I do notice this happens at times. And I'll unplug it again just to test it, and yeah, it's gone. So, well, yeah, just things like that. Really simple, really stupid things can cause you to experience interference. And yeah, so the best way to improve upon your radio experience is to cut down on interference from anything electrical in your house. When you're not sure what's causing the RFI, just start unplugging things. Just start unplugging anything that you think might be causing the sound. And once you figure out what it is, then to have that unplugged while you're listening to the radio. And it could be something as small as a cell phone charger, that you just don't even know that's plugged into the wall. But just go around your house, start unplugging things until the sound goes away, then you know what it is. You can start walking around with a battery-powered radio and trying to figure out where the source is coming from. That's what a lot of other people do as well. I just start unplugging things until I don't hear any noise. And yeah, just have things on surge protectors so that way you can just shut it off, if you want to listen to the radio. Luckily, important things, they like the fridge and things like that, they don't cause that much noise. Air conditioners, heaters, in my experience, they don't really cause any noise to happen, so that's good. But yeah, just if you're experiencing a lot of noise, just look for the source. It's probably something in your house. Because I see a lot of people, they talk about how they can't pick anything up in the HF bands, and it could be something as simple as their coffee maker as to why they're not picking anything up, And they don't realize it. They think, oh, shortwave's dead. But in reality, it's actually just some simple household appliance that they wouldn't even think causes interference. So just go around, check your house for anything that could cause interference. Something as simple as an AC adapter can cause interference, as in my case. So yeah, just look for things like that. And without further ado, let's take it back to the program. And thank you all for tuning into my segment. This is Ancient Grass, ancient_grass_5121. I'm on YouTube, and I'm on Reddit as well. So go ahead and check those out, and I'll talk to you again soon, hopefully. 73.
I want to give Ancient Grass a big mahalo for that segment. It's great that he keeps coming back and coming up with great segments for us that really help us in the hobby and give us a lot of information. I always call him Ancient Grass. His online handle is ancient_grass_5121, and that's how you can check him out on his YouTube channel. You can also go over to the Reddit group, Grundig Shortwave Radio. He posts a lot on there, and you can keep updated with all the information that he gives out. That was a great segment on RFI, and hopefully it'll help some listeners. And now on to a programming segment. This is where I usually talk about programming that I listen to, programming that's out there on shortwave. A lot of people definitely complain about some of the content on shortwave. Sometimes they just don't find some of the good stuff that's out there. This program for sure is one of the most popular ones on shortwave. There's a lot of people that listen to them, and it is VORW, and that stands for the Voice of the Report of the Week. And it's put out by Review Bra, who has become internet famous for his fast food reviews that he gives. He'll do reviews on McDonald's new releases, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, in general things like that. And there's always new releases, and he'll go ahead and he'll do reviews on the food. And he started way back in the early 2000s with reviews on sports drinks or energy drinks, and he moved into he wanted to try to broaden it up so he can get more listeners, and he figured fast food was a good way to do it, with most people stopping off quick, grabbing a bite, and so a lot of people can relate to those type of reviews. He does have a unique style. He usually always dresses up in vintage suits, and he has his hair slicked back. Some people describe his radio voice as old-time radio that you would have heard back in the day on shortwave and on regular radio. So he definitely does have a unique style. He on YouTube, he is the Report of the Week. You can check him out there, and you'll see his reviews. He has almost 3 million followers to his YouTube channel, and his shortwave radio program has been around since about 2016. I think he had a brief break in there, but he's been doing that radio show for a long time. He's always been interested in shortwave radio, and I think that accumulated in him moving into shortwave because he liked the romance of radio, and he really enjoys listening to all the news and stations in other countries. So shortwave definitely does fit that bill. So if you haven't heard his show before, it's kind of a news and with light entertainment. He definitely has a format. I've been listening to it for a long time. It's actually one of the first programs that I found, and I did find him early on, actually before I even had shortwave radio. And he would always on YouTube, he would announce when his next program would be coming on. He would put out a post on his YouTube channel and saying, "Oh, if you're free in an hour, catch us on 4840 kilohertz for his VORW radio show." So that is one of the first shows that I tried to tune into when I got my first radio, and I've been listening to it ever since. It's a really good show. He definitely has a format that he follows, and he starts out with news, and it's any news from around the world. It's not just from the U.S. He'll hit on what's going on in the Ukraine and in Israel, and he really hits everything. Natural disasters that are currently in the news, he'll also talk about. The program is a weekly show and is on for an hour, and he usually starts out with this news broadcast. He'll start out with an introduction, of course, then he goes into the news, and he'll talk about the news, the headlines, probably for 15-20 minutes, sometimes maybe 25 minutes, depending on what's going on. And then he'll move into the rest of the show, all the way up to the end of the hour, will be listener music. So the listeners will send in emails, have requests or dedications, and he'll play those for the rest of the hour. The only other thing that he usually sneaks in, he doesn't do this every week, but he will do a mailbag where he will go ahead and read some emails about reception reports, where people are listening, and what radios and equipment people are using, similar to our mailbag. So he does do that, and it's amazing how fast the hour goes. The music is wide-ranging. You'll end out hearing Sinatra, then you'll end out hearing Depeche Mode. So it all depends on what the listeners want, and the listeners have been, it's been a great variety of music, and I've always enjoyed all the music that gets played on there. So the hour goes actually pretty fast, and he doesn't get controversial with the news. He really just reads out the facts, and he's always, he'll put a little bit of his own 2 cents in there, but it's usually, we'll have to wait and see what happens, and that type of thing. So it's really a good program to catch and to listen to. And you do have a few ways to catch this broadcast. I'm going to post his schedule over on VOSRinternational.com. So I'll have an update over there. I'll have a link to his YouTube channel and the Voice of the Week, the Report of the Week. And then I will also put the schedule on there. I'll kind of go over the schedule right now so you can see how varied it is and when you can go ahead and catch it. So for his radio schedule on Saturdays at 2 a.m. Eastern, he in all this for the schedule, he does list them in Eastern time in the United States. He doesn't give the UTC times. So on Saturday at 2 a.m. Eastern, you can catch him on 4840 kilohertz going across North America. Then at 3 a.m. Eastern, he's on 1300 a.m. in Nashville. So these aren't all shortwave. He does have a few a.m. broadcasts. Then the next is 7 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. He's on 5950 going across North America. And the last one is an AM station, again on Saturday, at 9 p.m. Eastern on 1490 in Knoxville. So if you're in the Nashville, Knoxville area, you'll be able to pick him up on AM. Then on Sunday, he's back on shortwave at 8 p.m. Eastern on 5950, and again, that's going across North America. Then on Monday, he's on at 12 a.m. Eastern on 4840 kilohertz going across North America. And then also on Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, he's on 17810 kilohertz going across Europe and Asia. Now that is the new one that he just started. I believe he started this in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. It's broadcast out of France. And is a 250 kilowatt transmitter that's used there. So this does go out and has a lot of power. So that is one to try to catch. And that is, again, on Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on 17810 kilohertz going across Europe and Asia. On Wednesday, he's on at 7 p.m. Eastern on 9455. Going across North America. That's our frequency here. And then also on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, he's on 9395 kilohertz going across North America. There's a few other ways you can listen to him. You can also listen to him on SoundCloud. And also if you support him on Patreon, he has every program that he has put out in a archive there, and you have free access to listen to those past broadcasts. So there's a ton of those in there. This is another one of those programs where I really do like to support. I've said it before, I like to support the people that support the hobby. And for him to go and do this weekly show It's really amazing how, and he's done it for a long time already. He's a pretty young guy. I think he's only 27 or 28, and he's been doing this show for almost 10 years already. And he does put out good content, and it's really something that you should take time and support him and go ahead and listen to him. So, in the meantime, send us an email. Do you listen to VORW already? Is this something that you usually like to catch? Have you sent them a reception report? He takes reception reports that you can send him, and he does send out EQSL cards. So you want to note that. And now on to our mailbag segment. I really love it when I get the correspondence from the listeners and reception reports, and they just send information about the equipment that they're using, what they're using to listen to the show on. It's always fun to listen to those. I can add the listeners onto our listener map. I put a push pin on it, and I have those posted over at VOSRinternational.com. You can see how on the map all over that the pins are really filling up, and it's really a fun part of the show, and a lot of people definitely do like it. So go ahead and send reception reports, comments on segments. If you're going to comment on a segment, just put the segment in the subject line there. It helps me keep the emails sorted that way. If you're going to send a reception report, just put that in the subject line. And then also, if you're giving a reception report, don't forget to put down the frequency. That always helps. And then I can get the EQSL cards sent out. I send those out to all the reception reports. And like I said earlier in the broadcast, hopefully we'll get more variations, more designs to the cards. And right now there's 2 to start collecting, and hopefully there'll be more in the future. Okay, so we'll start out with the emails. I got Robert from New Mexico. Robert reports a very good signal on 9455 kilohertz using a RTL V4 SDR with a WMLA 30 plus antenna mounted on an inside window. On those MLA 30s, I've got one myself, and they are a really good antenna, especially if you need to keep it portable. And a lot of people will report using those indoors, and they really do help out with interference and keeping noise down. Then we have Santos from North Las Vegas, Nevada. He was listening on 9455 kilohertz, and he reports a good signal at 5.5, and he's using a C-Crane SSB radio just with the telescopic antenna. He is thanking me for a great show, and I really want to give a big mahalo out to that. It's always great to get those comments. Then we have James from Carbondale, Illinois. He was also listening on 9455 kilohertz. He reports a strong reception with slight noise and a signal of 4 to 9. Sometimes it would be varying. And then he found the broadcast just by scanning the shortwave band. He reports it was fun. It was a fun find for him. And I want to thank him, and a lot of people have been finding us that way, and I know I do a lot of tuning around on the radio, just turning the dial and seeing what I can come up with, so it's great that people are still finding us that way and just having fun DXing and coming across our show. So thanks to James for those comments. Next, we have a couple from Discord. We have regular listener Kynan from Wichita, Kansas. He reports that the signal is strong tonight on 9455 kilohertz. And then Master Player 30 from Louisiana. He reports a strong signal booting out to plus 25 on 9455 kilohertz. Then over to Radio Reference, we have regular listener E.A. Frizzle from Dallas, Fort Worth. And he reports a great signal on 9455 kilohertz. Next, we have regular listener John from Concho, Arizona, on 9455 kilohertz. He reports good reception with an SINPO of 55454 using his Texan PL360 with an MLA30 active loop. Then another regular listener from Moopsy from Kansas. Great show. Thank you so much for that. That was just a comment. And then we also had John, also K4CHT. He reports back from listening from 15770 kilohertz. He had a good signal to Morristown, Tennessee, using an RS Play Duo with an MLA 30 plus antenna. Now on this next one, I had a couple correspondences from different places from Adrian from Malta. This was really kind of neat because I had posted on social media a couple times and about our program on 9455 kilohertz, and he would answer couldn't get in Malta, and he did that actually a couple times. And during that time frame, I was working on getting the program also onto 15770 kilohertz, but it wasn't quite ready to go yet. Then finally, a couple weeks ago, I posted again on social media, and again he responded that he couldn't pick it up in Malta, and so I referred him over to the 15770 kilohertz broadcast on Saturdays at 2300 UTC. And he had answered me back on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Wavecrest Guy, and he put on there that okay, he would end up trying that, and he finally did get back to me, and he did report coming across it because he didn't get any signal on 9455. And so he did report an SINPO of 55454, and it ranged. It went to 55353 using an XH data D109 with a long wire of 27 meters. I'm so glad this was able to work out, and that he was listening for the first time a couple weeks ago now. And so now he said that he would try to be a regular listener, that they don't get a lot of shortwave stations over in Malta. So it was really, really good to hear that we were able to get him onto the program and able to listen. So a big aloha out to Adrian for sticking with it and being able to find our broadcast. He did say that he wanted to be able to hop on the program the next week and be able to start being a regular listener. So aloha and welcome to the show. One thing I did want to mention too about the 15770 kilohertz. I do not get that here in Hawaii. I tried on my radio, but I do not get that broadcast. And I usually go on to Kiwi SDR, and then I will pick some radios from all throughout the world at different places. And I was really happy with the way the program gets broadcast out. There's a really good range, and I was really surprised actually on how much. I thought it would just kind of catch the East Coast of the mainland U.S., but it actually went way over. It goes into the Midwest and slightly even a little bit more west than that. Got it down into Texas. So I was surprised at how well it was coming in different parts of the U.S. But just for a reference here, I wrote down quite a few that I ended out picking up the program, and all these that I have on this list, they came in really strong. They came in definitely strong enough to listen to. Of course, there was a little bit of fading or some static, but all very listenable stations. The first one was in Manchester, UK. Then I also was able to pick it up in Paris, France, Malek, Slovenia, Dresden and East Hamburg, Germany, Parma, Italy, and in Australia, a couple places. I didn't get a chance to write them down. I did even get them in Chautauqua, Wisconsin. Again, quite a ways west, more than I was thinking I'd be able to pick it up. Then Switzerland, I also was able to pick it up. Picked it up in Bermuda, in Poland, in Qatar, in Cyprus, also in Greece. A few places, different radios in Ireland, I was able to pick it up, and it came in very strong there. Montreal, Canada was another one. I did pick it up in Lima, Peru. It was a little weak, but I was able to hear the broadcast, and I was able to make it out, so it was listenable. Also in West Germany, and then the Netherlands, Durango, Mexico, Hungary, and then the Canary Islands. Then also I was able to get it in Catalonia and Denmark. Brazil, came in really strong in Brazil. And then Czech Republic, and then the Falkland Islands, Tambov, Russia, and then Sweden and Finland. And I did pick it up all the way in California. I didn't write down what city that was, but I was really surprised to be able to pick it up in California, being so far west. With that, I was kind of hoping maybe on a good night I would be able to pick it up here in Hawaii, but it was a little bit weak, but it definitely was still listenable. Then Switzerland, Poland, and then there was a couple different radios that I picked it up on for those countries. Norway, Croatia, then Southern Australia. I was really surprised. There were a few Australia Kiwi SDRs there, and I was able to pick it up on a couple of them. And I do pick up, beyond reach, Australia. From here to Hawaii, and that comes in pretty good. But coming from Florida, I was really surprised that they were able to pick it up just the way that that antenna is beaming. I was really surprised that they were able to pick it up in South Australia, and then also in Portugal. So as you can tell, that 15770 kilohertz does broadcast a wide range and goes all over. And again, all those weren't just barely picking up the program. It was actually all listenable. So it's really good to see that. And if anybody that's a regular listener or a listener on 9455 kilohertz, if you know people that might be in better range, living in different parts of the world, that can are into shortwave, that can pick it up on 15770, let them know. Spread the word. I don't have a lot of ways to get some information on the program out. I do post in social media, which of course some other countries can pull in and turn into, but it's good to be able to spread that word and maybe be able to get some more listeners on that frequency of 15770 kilohertz. So if you want to send it an email and to get it on the in the mailbag segment, and also to get your pin onto the listener map, send your emails over to VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. You can also head over to our website at VOSR International.com. There's a mail button there that you can click, and you can send an inquiry that way. Again, all reception reports are really helpful. And then you can also put down your frequency that you're picking up the program on. That really helps. I also add that onto the pin if you're listening to it in different frequencies. So some people will pick it up in both. I am eventually going to have EQSL cards for each frequency at some point, and switch them out. So if you're collecting the EQSL cards, you can always send in reception reports and start collecting them that way. That'll work out really good. But don't forget, you can also comment on segments here at VOSR International. In the subject box, just put down the name of the segment that you are commenting on, and I'll read those off here during the mailbag segment. Now I want to give kind of a preview of some of the segments that are coming up on VOSR International. Now, of course, I do have a couple guests working on segments, so I won't find out what those are until they end up sending them to me. and give me that correspondence. But I do have at least 3, possibly 4 guests working on segments, which is always nice, so I can get those and I'll be able to plug those into future broadcasts. But some of the segments that I've got going and will be coming up just for something for you guys to watch for. I am going to have a segment on WRTH. That is I call it the handbook of shortwave radio listening. There's a wealth of information in there, and I'll be going into that. Then also, I also going to be having this one, maybe a couple parts to it, but a K180 WLA antenna series. So I'll be talking about that antenna. Right now, that is the current antenna that I use for my shortwave radios, and it's working out really well. Then also the MLA 30 Plus antenna. I'll be having a segment on that. It's a really popular antenna. I've had a couple of those, and they work excellent. They're good price, good value, and they really work out well. So I'll be having a segment on that. Also going to have a headphone segment. I'm going to go over the headphones that I use here at VOSR International, and so you'll be able to respond to that with what everybody else is using. Then also I'm going to have another radio segment, and this is going to be on my Grundig Satellite 800 Millennium. That might end up being a two-parter. I'll go over how I ended up picking up my radio and getting it, a little bit of the history about it, and then moving into the features. Then I'm also going to have a part 2, most likely, of the Reticus V115 that I'll be talking about here shortly, and that'll always shows the reception of how it actually operates. So I'll get to that segment also. Also going to have a segment about the air bands, about air traffic that I've had also. I picked up some air traffic on 5574 kilohertz. And that is air traffic going over the Pacific. So I can talk about that. There's actually a couple bands there I can pick up just on regular shortwave, not even the air bands. Then I'm also going to do a segment about the air bands. I also I went over to the Molokai Airport, and I did a couple videos on this, and I can go over the different frequencies that they use, and then I'm sure your regional airports, or if you're close to a large airport, it's worth a trip to go out there if you've got a radio with an airband. Maybe you're even lucky enough to be able to get it at home, so you won't have to make a trip. Then also I'm going to have an update on the DX394 modifications. I come across a little bit of information on there that listeners might be interested about with some modifications for that radio. That DX394 from Radio Shack is a very popular radio. There's quite a few of them out there on the used market too. They're not exactly cheap, but a lot of times, but sometimes you can still get some good deals on them. So it's definitely one to watch out for. But I'll have an update with that radio also. And then lastly, I've been getting some inquiries about setting up my radio program. How I went about deciding I was going to do a shortwave radio program, and actually what's involved in it. Of course, I'll go over the costs. I'll go over the equipment that I use, and how I end out setting up the program. And it can be kind of interesting because of there's so many different ways you can do it, and you can really set it up rather cheaply. And there's a lot of people that hopefully do have interest in this and maybe setting up their own program. And this will be one step to get them going. And you can listen, and you can also always ask any questions about any of the questions. Just send me an email here at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. You can also head over to our website and click the mail icon there and send us an email that way. We check those out every day, and that website is updated at least a couple times a week usually. So that's just a small preview of what's coming up on VOSR International. We're working on a lot of things, and things are always changing, and things change fast here at the radio show, especially since I ended up going to the new every other week format. It does seem to be working out pretty good with that. I'm getting good response from everyone, and most seem to be glad that it's going to every other week. Eventually, it might be a weekly, but I'll be talking about that during that segment on setting up a radio show because there's a little bit involved in it. And there's a lot of timing that are involved in it to be able to keep the show moving along. So we're going to close out the mailbag with a reference back to the announcement section where I announced a giveaway. We are going to be having a giveaway of a Redicus V115 shortwave radio. Now, right after the mailbag, I'm going to have a segment. It's going to be a part one on this radio where I'm going to kind of do an unboxing and just tell how the radio comes and the features. So I'm going to have more information on that over at VOSRInternational.com. You can check out the radio. I'll have videos there. You can see this actual radio for the giveaway in action. I got some videos that I will link over at the website, and you can check it out. I'm going to try to make this a simple giveaway, and I know that there's always issues with scammers and things like that on the internet. This being announced on shortwave, hopefully we won't have those issues, and I'm only going to go through this with email. So there's only going to be one entry per person. So send me an email. In the subject line, put in radio giveaway. And that's all you can, put in the subject or put in the body, please enter me or something like that. If you want to give your name and address at that time, you can, but you don't have to. Then on August 2nd, I'm going to have the drawing. So there's going to be some rebroadcasts of this broadcast. I'll wait until after those are finished, and then I'll go ahead and do the drawing. So the winner will be announced on the August 2nd broadcast, and I will end out just taking the email that you sent me to enter, and I'm going to hit reply to that, and then I'm just going to ask you for your name and address so I can get it sent out. Just that simple. So if you get any spam somehow, I don't know how that would be, but if you get any spam or anything like that, and they're asking for money or whatever, just disregard that. I'm only going to answer back that you were the winner, and I just need your name and address so I can mail it. I will send out tracking to the winner, so they will be able to follow the radio and until they get it. And then when you get it, it'd be great if you would send us an email that you received it. It'd be awesome if you sent us a picture. We could post it on the website at VOSRInternational.com. And that's the only time I'm going to put that about the giveaway on the website is after I announce the winner. So go ahead and you can send those emails in to VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. And go ahead in the subject line, put in radio giveaway. And now on to the segment, part one, about the Redicus V115. We are going to now move over to a radio segment, and this is a radio that I ordered. I was looking, for a radio to do a review on, last year in 2024 for quite a few months, and then I finally, right around November, December, I decided I was going to try to do the Redicus V115, and I put it in my shopping cart and left it in there for a while. I didn't order anything else, and then all of a sudden I ordered some things. I ended up ordering this in January. I got it right on February 4th, so I've had it for months, and it's just been sitting there. So I'm a little embarrassed to be having to wait this long to get at this radio. But so I'm going to just go through my initial feelings or what I notice when I'm opening it up, so kind of an unboxing. And then I'm going to have other parts of this that I'll go back and I will mention how it performed And I will have reception videos for it and videos in a series over on my YouTube channel, Wavecrest Guy, for you to check out. I'll also post the links for that over on VOSRinternational.com. So you'll be able to see it there. You'll be able to get a look at it. But for our radio listeners, I'll kind of go over it right now. So basically, it comes in a typical box. It does have a picture of the radio on it, and it is the Redicus V115. And this one kind of has a nice feature, and I should mention before I get into the radio. When I was first started looking, it was right around $21 when I put it in my cart, and then as I was watching it, they ended out adding a coupon. So I believe it was a 10% off coupon, and so when I ordered it, I got it for $18.39, I believe is what it was. So really inexpensive, and it does have a couple nice features on it, and we'll see if they work and how they work. But then we'll see what the reception is, because that'll be the big telltale sign on this. And but if it does, and I've done radios at the $6 range, $8 range, and all those were able to pick up frequencies. So you were able to pick up some stations. They did fairly well, and for the price, and if you just want to get into the hobby and get started right away, why not? For $6, $8, $10, and this one here again, even $18, pretty cheap entryway into the hobby. So on this one, the unique feature on this one is that it does recordings. It's got a line-in jack that you can put your recording equipment plugged in there, and you can record. And it's got a jack for a little slot for a TF card, so you can put that in there and record right on it. And it also has a microphone. So you can actually do recordings right over, right on the radio, right onto the card. Kind of a unique feature that a lot of other radios don't have. And you can record right from the radio also. So really nice feature. Of course, the radio is AM, FM, and shortwave. In the recording, it'll do WMA files and MP3s. And MP3 is pretty much the standard. So really a nice feature, and we'll have to see how that plays out and how it works. This, of course, the radio is made in China, and when you open the box, it comes with a USB cord that you can plug it in to recharge, and it also comes with a carrying strap. And then the kind of a neat little feature on this one is that I looked at the back, and it didn't have that little tilt out flap, so when you lay it down, it's facing you, and all the buttons are right there for you to use. It didn't have that, and I was kind of disappointed, but I didn't even notice there was a piece of plastic hanging off the carry handle, the strap, and it had a little notch in it. It has a little notch, so you take that notch, and there's a hole in the back of the unit, and you slide that right in there, and then that is your tilt out feature. Really nice, because especially on these lower end radios, that's usually the first thing to break. A lot of people notice that your battery cover are another things that usually break, and you end up taping them. And another thing is that tilt out. So this is actually a pretty nice feature. The plastic seems pretty good, so I don't really think it's going to break. The only thing is maybe after a while, inserting it and taking it out of that little slot might make this a little loose and might make it a little sloppy. You'd still be able to use it. You just have to be careful in inserting it when you're setting it down. But right out of the box, it works great. It's got a nice tilt to it, and it really angles everything really nice for you when you got it sitting on a table. It's really close, just as a comparison here. I have a C. Crane Skywave SSB2, and it's really comparable in size to that. It is slightly bigger, it is slightly longer, and slightly more wide, but it is thinner than the C. Crane. The C. Crane on the right side, as you're looking at the screen, has that tuning knob there. This does not have a tuning knob or a turning wheel on it. So that is one I think is a negative, that it doesn't have that. because a lot of times when you get these buttons and you're using the buttons all the time, buttons do end up failing a little earlier than a tuning knob would, or a tuning wheel. So you don't even have that option here to be able to use the wheel. On the right side of the unit is the plug-in for the USB and charging. Then there's a slot for that TF memory card. There's an inline for the recording, and then there's a headphone jack. There is no jack for an external antenna. So any external antenna for this unit will have to be clipped onto the whip antenna, which is about the standard size. So when I do the reviews and tell you on how things are going, and maybe even show it here on the air a little bit on how the reception is, I do have a small, it's like a magic wand type antenna that I hang up on my lanai also, that has an alligator clip. I can use that. It does a halfway decent job. I also have a Radio Shack amplified antenna that I could use, and I can alligator clip that onto here also. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. One thing for a portable radio, this thing is great. You know, like my C Crane. One thing is that when I'm using it more often, when I didn't have my my big home units, I've got the Grundig Satellite 800 Millennium. That is great for when you're just sitting at a desk and you're listening to the radio. All the controls are right there. They're a lot bigger. Most of them are not multifunction, and it's just easier to operate. These smaller ones, these buttons sometimes can get close together, and if you got fat fingers, it could be a problem. So that's one thing on these portables to keep in mind. But for portables, and even for listening for a few hours, it's not a big deal at all. It's just a day-to-day. If you're going to get serious in the hobby and you're going to be listening in one location and you have a nice antenna, a larger unit, in my opinion, is the way to go. So, but these buttons aren't too close together. They have a little more spacing than the C Crane, so that is a little bit nicer. So that is definitely one plus to this. The screen is actually about the same size as the Crane, might be slightly deeper, so that'll be a little bit easier to read. And it's got the mesh on the over the speaker, and the plastic is kind of a holdout for mesh, and you can actually see the speaker in this one. So I don't know if hopefully you can't get a lot of dirt inside there. I don't know if that'll be an issue, but you can actually see the speaker. It does have a nice look to it, that's for sure. One thing I forgot to mention also is that this does come with a rechargeable battery. The rechargeable battery comes with it, so it's ready to work right away. It's wrapped up. I haven't even taken it out yet to get it going, but it does come with the battery. So for, like I said, $18 and 39 cents, whatever it was, this thing is ready to go, and you'll be able to use it right out of the box. So really nice to have that. A lot of these, a lot of things when you order them, you do have to be careful whether they have that battery or not. I know when I ordered the antenna, the K180 WLA, I was all ready to use that one. Didn't notice that it did not have the battery with it. It talked about recharging the battery in the instructions, but it did not list in there that the battery was not included. And it doesn't have a snap-off battery cap on that. I had to take off 4 screws to find out that I didn't have a battery. So that's the nice thing about this. Everything is right there, and you're ready to use it. All right, so we're going to stop here with this. That's kind of get you going on what to expect when you order one of these Redicus V115s, and we will have a follow-up, and I'll go through and talk about reception, talk about the comparison to my C Crane Skywave SSP2, just to see how it works, and if there's any positives or negatives, I'll go over those. Again, you can check out if you want to see this, go to the website, VOSRInternational.com. I have links over to my YouTube channel, Wavecrest Guy, so you'll be able to see videos and pictures of this actual radio. So let me know, does anybody have a Redicus V115? Are you using it to listen to this program? send me an email at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. In the subject line, put down V115, so I'll be able to separate the emails. And just let me know what you think of it. If you have one, if you were thinking about getting one, if you were, maybe this will be timely. So be looking for the next segment of the review on this radio. And that concludes our broadcast. Be sure to catch our broadcasts every Saturday at 0300 UTC on 9455 kilohertz, and also on Saturdays at 2300 UTC on 15770 kilohertz, transmitted by WRMI, Radio Miami International, from Okeechobee, Florida. Until next time, ahui ho, everyone.